Hey, Maria, back with another video at 6:18. It is April 5th, and it's Friday evening, and the sun is still up, okay? The days are getting longer right now. So anyway, I just got out of the shower a while ago, and I am kind of winding down so that I can get ready for bed in a little bit. And so, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I'm going to do this weekend, trying to stay busy. I'm actually looking forward to scrubbing my bathroom floor, getting down on my hands and knees. That's the best way, okay? Mops, to me, they really don't do the job. You need to get down on your hands and knees and scrub in those cracks and crevices to accomplish having, a clean floor, okay? It's not that my floor is very dirty, but lately I'm just really tired of all the dust that gets dragged in here, and sometimes I forget to take my shoes off, and then I trample dirt in the house, and it starts to bother me, which I'm sure this happens to everybody, but still. So, I've been thinking a lot about this issue, and of course it's always on my mind from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, mainly because well, obviously there's a serious injustice, and I'm not over it, and I doubt I will ever get over it. Some people might think, well, what happens if things get better for you and things change and everything? I know that my life is never going to be the same. I know it's never going to be the same because this pain, this hurt, this anger, the frustration is too great. It is too great. And I had mentioned before how many years this has been going on, and why I believe and I feel and I know in my heart that I believe that it's unforgivable, only because when people have the ability to stop and think what they're doing, and they had known that I didn't approve of the direction that they were trying to push me into, I had stood up for myself over and over and over again, and they continually did this. I see no reason to forgive them. A few days ago, I was on my way out of the house, and I was crossing the parking lot, and into the parking lot, into the Albertsons parking lot, I saw my old boss, Steve Murray. And I really started getting upset. I could feel myself getting upset. Like I really wanted to just charge him and just go off and spew out a bunch of obscenities and just literally attack him verbally. But I realized, okay, I need to just calm down. I didn't come outside to deal with this. I have something to do. I have an errand to run. That's what I needed to do. I need to focus. But the way I look at it is that, it's better for me to stay away from everybody that I used to know that has created this problem and who is a part of it, because I don't want to do something that I'm going to regret. And that's realistic, because you can't forgive. I cannot forgive something like this. I cannot. And the psychological damage, the financial damage, everything that was created. And, I was thinking today also about, I know my family has been infiltrating into my personal life for a very long time, okay? Sitting around gossiping and then trying to speculate as to what my actions are, why I'm doing what I'm doing, what kind of work I'm doing, and then choosing my jobs and all this other crazy stuff. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how the whole Karen Johnson and and my siblings collided. Like, for example, was the reason why this was kept. Obviously, my family's been doing this shit to me for years. Okay, but when this whole job arrangement shit started happening, was it Karen's idea or was it my family's idea? And, then no matter how I look at it, if it was Karen's idea and then she told my family or, my family and the people that I used to know to keep quiet about it and she's under control and this is what she was doing, I still don't see any reason to forgive these people because, number one, if I had a family member, like for example, if my son's boss or something, or if I had a sister that I gave a shit about, her boss came up to me and started saying, "Well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that." I would like a red flag would stand up, like you are manipulating something that is an asset to a person. You can't just do that. I would warn them, okay? And I feel as though the fact that they kept this from me is something that I cannot get over. I cannot get over it. I don't know whose idea it was to keep it quiet. But that's something you don't keep quiet. Okay. So I obviously don't forgive these people. I don't want anything to do with these people. I don't want my family thinking it's their responsibility to choose my jobs. Another part that angers me is the fact that my sister and Tanya, I think I hate Tanya more than I hate my sister Lisa. I hate them both at this point. But the very fact that Tanya feels as though she has to be involved in my life, or that she has to steer and direct me or guide me or in some way. First of all, I have my own life to live. I have my own principles to live by. I have my own standards, my own beliefs, okay? And I have every right to have them. I have no interest in taking up anything from my family or following their path. And I feel this way. If you can't give life, and not every parent feels this way, but if you can't give life freely, then don't bother having kids, okay? Because you're going to be a controlling, narcissistic nightmare, okay? Some families are very close knit, and they have like this goal. They have this goal, and they're driven on one goal. Like, for example, they want to build an empire. They want their family name to be exalted. They want, this power, prestige, whatever. Our family doesn't deserve anything like that. I'm not trying to cut my family down, but we're just average people, okay? And aside from that, my mom always said, by the time you're 18 years old, you do what you want to do. And there were certain parts of our life that when we reached a certain age, this is what we were supposed to do. So for this bitch to come around and sit there and say, well, this is what you're going to do, and then accuse me of certain things, which I believe that she did, which is create all this gossip and stuff. First of all, it's none of your business. Okay. I think my sister, wanted me to stay in a marriage to Joel and Joel's family. I suspect that she did. But still, you don't force that onto somebody. Okay. I'm angry that these people took it upon themselves to tamper with something that was very dear to me. Like, my aspirations in life were on the 9 to 5 aspect of it, like the regular work aspect. I think my aspirations were very modest. Okay. I did have other goals. I wanted to meet other people and have exciting ventures and things to talk about that were very creative and very important, that I felt. But that wasn't something that I wanted them to be a part of, and I don't get motivated by other people being a part of things. I'm a very autonomous person, and to keep me motivated, it's got to be mine, 100%. I don't believe in doing this with this particular person so this person can keep me on track. I don't believe in that, okay? As a matter of fact, when people get involved, I'm so not motivated. I just don't get motivated by other people. So it angers me. So my life has been damaged severely by my sister Tanya, who feels as though she has some sort of sense of superiority because she has a master's degree, and she feels as though she's in a better position in life because she feels like she's better than me. First of all, it's obviously not true. I don't like to say that I'm better than other people. I don't, okay? But if somebody takes this sort of action, if somebody constantly wants to prove or one-up you, or even worse, start manipulating your life, well, then obviously you can tell somebody's insecure about something. I don't want anything to do with my family at all, period. I don't want any trace or memory of these people. I don't want to have to, I constantly keep thinking, who is going to protect me from this bullshit? Who is going to protect me? Because I would tell you, when I was working over at the Valley place, I gave the owner, as well as his dumb, idiotic secretary who could not shut the hell up, a notice basically saying these people are stalking me. Okay. And so he turned around and ended up terminating me because these people were causing me psychological damage. Okay. There was no protection for me whatsoever. Okay. And so you get these employers that think it's okay. It's not okay. And I've said this many times. So since Karen and Johnson and Steve Murray are involved in this, I don't want these people involved in my stuff. I don't want these Karen Johnson and Steve Murray involved in my shit. The only thing they're supposed to do is be a reference. And yes, they can be a reference. And legally, they're supposed to be a reference. Just because somebody gives you a job doesn't mean that they have the right to take that away. I'm the one who worked. It's my labor, okay? And we can go to court over this because it's the truth, okay? You cannot do that. That is considered very, very similar to slavery. So if you're going to violate that, then we could all go to court and talk about this, because we really should actually go to court for all of this. Because in reality, I should be, living a life to where I don't have to sit here and worry about what's going to happen to me by the time I'm 55 years old. Okay? I'm that angry. So, yeah, I need to feel like I'm safe from my family. I don't care if they're sorry. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't want them in my life. I'm extremely disturbed by their action. So anyway, I want to get off the subject of my family, okay, for just a second. I just kind of wanted to say what I've been doing lately. I've been walking around town a lot, as I've mentioned before. And, I'm trying to keep up with, just walking and talking and thinking and clearing my mind. And I find that, it helps me a little bit. I'm not over this subject. I'm not over it. I'm not, because it's too painful for me. It is extremely painful. And, I'm cutting off people who thought that thought, even if they were deceived into doing something like this. The reason why I'm cutting them off is because there was something in their heart that made them want to do this to me. And I can't overlook it. I cannot overlook it. I can't forgive it. So anyway, I'm getting off the subject, and I'm going on and on about the same thing. Anyway, so I'm trying to pick up my hobbies again. I do want to do some sewing. I'm getting more hats for the summertime. For the, going out shopping, walking around, going across the street, walking, whatever. So hats right now are really important for me. Unlike the beanies were very nice, and they were very warm, and they did keep my hair from frizzing out and doing all kinds of trippy things. But they are very, very warm. So right now, spring and summer hats are my thing right now. So I'm looking for hats with a brim, basically to keep the sun out of... The hat should serve two purposes. It should, number one, have a brim so it can keep the sun out of my eyes, okay? Number two, it needs to be able to keep my hair, me looking presentable, so I don't walk out looking like crazy. Anyway, I'm very upset about what my family has done. And what Karen Johnson has done. And so, I do watch other TI videos, and I was really glad that Renata did this video. I really love, I hope Renata is listening to my video. Hi, Renata. Anyway, Renata's great. And I look at her as somebody who is a very strong woman. And everybody, looks up to Renata because she seems to know a lot about this program. She's experienced it too. And she's, I like the way she presents things, but she kind of did a different video. She was talking about this particular person, Nipsey Hussle. Now, I don't listen to modern day music very much, and I'm never really familiar with certain people. Some people I can't help to know, okay? Like, I'm going to be forced to know who they are, whether I want to or not. For example, I haven't heard one song by Cardi B. I don't know any songs that she sings, but I know who she is. Why? Because I can click on, my Yahoo page in the morning, and her face is going to be plastered on there. I'm like, okay, there's this girl. Here she is. I know who else? Just a lot of people that I don't necessarily listen to. I'm familiar with their faces at least. But this particular person, Nipsey Hussle, I've never heard of him before, ever. Like, I've never heard of him. Never heard of his music or anything like that. But it kind of made me laugh because, not him, not that the tragedy that's surrounding Nipsey Hussle, because I think it's terrible. But I do remember there used to be a person by the name of Nipsey Russell when I was little. I don't know why, but it's so stupid. But when I was younger, I used to laugh at Nipsey Russell. Not because he was a comedian, okay? It's not that I thought his jokes were funny. He didn't have to say anything. And I would just look at his face, and it was funny. Like, he had this expression on his face that it would just make me laugh, okay? And like I said, it had nothing to do with his comedy. I didn't think his comedy was really that funny. It was just he looked funny, you know. Anyway, and when I saw him in The Wiz, I was like, damn, you know, he just blew my mind for several reasons. And I remember, like, I made up this. I kept thinking, well, you know, I was always make up dumb jokes when I was a kid. Like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if they had this TV show like called Celebrity Elbow, where like celebrities featured their elbow and you had to guess what the and it's absurd, okay? But that was my humor back then. You had to guess which celebrity's elbow that was. And I kept thinking, you know, Nipsey Russell would be like really good for that particular. Like, he'd be the host of that show. Stupid. But anyway, off the subject. So anyway, this particular video was talking about Nipsey Hussle and his affiliation with this Dr. Sebi, Sebi, but it's pronounced like CB, like the radio or the communication device. He is a healer and he's a holistic healer. Basically, he prefers healing with herbs rather than dealing with what I call, you know, medicine, like what you get from the industry, pharmaceuticals. So anyway, some people are suspecting that this particular Nipsey Hussle got taken out because he was speaking in favor of Dr. Sebi, who has proven to cure people of major diseases like, you know, the AIDS, cancer, as well as diabetes, which are like the major diseases that we have. And I don't doubt that Dr. Sebi has cured these particular diseases. I personally believe more in holistic medicine, like, you know, healing by herbs, sunlight, you know, all kinds of different methods to cleanse your body. I think that should be the first choice. That's my personal choice, okay? And I do realize it's a controversial thing. But I do know that people in power are willing to take somebody down. You know, if you stand up and say something that is going to go against the pharmaceutical industry, okay? Just like, you know, how people were mobbing me and treating me like shit and calling me in for job interviews or whatever and mistreating me. This kind of angry mob crap, the same things go for things like in industries where like there's high dollar. I'm talking about when there's really something to like attack somebody over. You know, you can't go up against the pharmaceutical industry and start curing people of diseases when they are in the business to not really heal people, but for you to continually shell out money for their so-called therapies, you know, which to me, I'm never impressed with what they do. They always end up mutilating somebody or whatever. It's always, to me, I'm not impressed with what these particular doctors do. Okay. As a matter of fact, I can do another video on how I feel about the medical profession. I don't have any faith in it. But anyway, I was basically really, you know, amazed about, you know, the video that was put out. And I know who Nipsey Hussle is. It's a shame that he got, you know, taken out. I don't like to see that, but this is just one of the great examples of what happens to people who are power hungry. It's what happens when you open your mouth, a little guy opens his mouth and says something. And another thing is, if Nipsey Hussle was, I don't know what kind of celebrity he was, you know, how would you rank him? Was he like I don't think like, okay, he's not the equivalent of like what Michael Jackson was back in the 80s, okay? I don't know how he would measure up. Is he more like I don't know, is he more like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody who didn't really make it that big. But yeah, somebody who's famous, but not quite that famous. I don't know. But if he had a huge following and people respected his word, then he might have some sort of pull to where these people felt threatened by what he said. Because if you're somebody who's really powerful and well spoken, and you have a certain amount of followers, you know, and people are likely to feel as though this person is giving credibility to Dr. Sebi, although Dr. Sebi didn't need Dr. Hussle to endorse him because people were already convinced of his ability to heal. Anyway, I'm getting off the subject, but my point is that you have my point is that the more I think about people who are in positions of power, and how corrupt, you know, things are, and what they're willing to do and how they're willing to hurt people. If this is true, okay? Because this is just all speculation that he did indeed get taken out because of his association with Dr. Sebi. And if that's true, if it is true, that is the reason why, then we need to keep this in the back of our mind, okay? That, we need to protect ourselves from people in positions of power, because oftentimes, I'm not saying that we should be against authority, but we need to be careful about people who abuse authority, okay? Just like Karen Johnson and Steve Murray and my stupid family, although none of these people have any authority, but people can get big-headed and they can do all kinds of terrible things. It's just one of those things I was thinking about. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back with another video some other time. And I wish you all a peaceful evening. Take care. Bye-bye.